I'm going to pull it up so I can share it.
I think we're live. We are live on Dharma Talk Tuesday, and I'm just going to do this where it shows our names. Obviously, I'm Julie Surratt, Dharma Talk Tuesday, not in the Dharma Talk Tuesday chair today because we've got a special guest with us. The amazing, the beautiful, the miraculous Jackie Kotei in the house.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you, Jackie. And what you're envisioning and what you're creating and what you're generating for your tribe in 2019 is so beyond. I mean, when you and I connected about it, I got super excited about what you were offering and the idea of bringing it to my tribe. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people in my audience that are going to be very excited about what you have to say today. So what I want to say first is that Jackie is someone who has helped many, many, many people get on NBC, ABC, huge national shows and channels consistently. She is a award-winning media strategist. And in 2019, she will be helping some very lucky individuals get on Oprah, none other than the incredible, amazing Oprah. So, hearts and likes if you could see yourself on Oprah. Or maybe you don't quite see yourself on Oprah yet, but there's something in your heart that feels expansive and that lights up at just the thought about that. So, hearts and likes for that. And I would love for you to comment. Perhaps you watch Super Soul Sunday. Perhaps you read the O magazine. I certainly went for a long time. I would go to my girlfriend Kari's house and watch Super Soul Sunday with her every single week. And I just remember like soaking it in and being there, and it was magical. And the show just brings so much light to the planet. It just really does. And I know that's something you're committed to. So Jackie, I just want to hand it over to you for a second and share, so you can share about yourself and your vision, and so we can light up this audience.
Yay! Well, I was so excited to be here. Like my husband binge watches your Dharma Talk Tuesday. He's like such a fan. It's like something about the time of night that it's on. He's like always watching it. So it's such an honor to be here, and I'm just so excited about what we're creating, because it really is about like how can we change the media and like get positive stories out there, and who better than Oprah's, just her network and her, like what she touches is really about that. It's about like creating so much change in the world. And so, you know, you and I were both at like our mastermind 2 months ago, hanging out in the penthouse, and it was just such a time of like magic and gratitude and appreciation, and really like starting to look at 2019 and like what does 2019 hold. And I don't know if you remember when I got called up in front of the mastermind, it was like, what would make 2019 like so incredible for you? And at the time I thought, oh, well, I'm going to work on that project in like September or October of 2019. And it was like right in that moment, I got the thing of like the download of why not now? Like, why not get started with something that lights me up from head to toe now, today? And so that's really how the Oprah Accelerator Club was birthed. And it really is an opportunity for people to not just get on Oprah's radar, but also like really see who they can become in the process, knowing that they are saying yes to that. And I think often, you know, we hear that it's not just the result, but it's the journey that is the most magical part of it. And so that's really what this experience is about, you know, for some people, they might get an O magazine, others might get on Super Soul Sunday, some might bump into her just because of the container that we're creating, and others might say, I really stopped hiding and I showed up and played bigger than I ever have in 2019. So that's really what we're up to.
Yeah. What I love about that, I just want to highlight something that you said, which is who you become in the process. And I was actually at my event that I was hosting this past weekend. That was a big piece that I was sharing, which was at Dharma Live. You know, I'm on my way to 7 figures, and I'm not on my way to 7 figures because I need $1 million. I'm on my way to 7 figures, number one, because of the reinvention and transformation of me in the process. And I'm excited about that prospect. And number two, the level of impact that I know I'll be able to, like, your income is just a reflection of your impact.
Yeah.
And so who you're becoming in the process of being that impactful, and what sort of transformation occurs inside of you to vibrate at such a frequency that you're on that radar, on that level where Oprah can see you and say, yes, let's connect, let's make this happen.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of the work that we're doing in this club is really about like the behind the scenes work that I do. I know that you do it as well. I'm really excited to have you as one of the guest presenters who's going to like focus us in. I call you like the manifestation queen. And so, you know, basically what we've done is I didn't want to create just another program. Like, I feel like everyone's programmed out. It really is about like that's all, like everyone's programmed out. And so it really is like, how can we have fun and really create something special this upcoming year? And so, you know, I have you as a guest presenter. We basically only have 4 calls, but we have fun projects that we're doing every single month to accelerate the results of getting on Oprah's radar. You know, projects like cut out your picture and put it on O Magazine and keep that up for the month, you know, and things like that, that honestly, Julie, like I'm doing behind the scenes often to get my clients featured in the media. And it's one of the things I don't get to share about very often, that I pray over what we're doing. I am like, you know, doing reconnaissance work. I have vision boards up and I have my clients share what their visions are so that I'm really in tune with it. And so a lot of what we do behind the scenes to get people featured and get the results that we get, we're bringing it to the forefront with the Oprah Accelerator Club, really with a very strong intention around having some magical things happen. And so, you know, that's really what we're up to.
All right. And that's saying, hi. Hi, Annette.
I'm like looking at the comments on my end over here. Awesome. Yeah. So I see we got Jody, Stephanie, Annette. Hey, Annette. This is cool. Yeah.
So my question is, who specifically is the Oprah Accelerator Club for?
Yeah, that is a good question. So, you know, thought leaders, coaches, experts, people that know that they have a big vision. You know, this year we got somebody featured that didn't even have a website, but she was like, Jackie, I've been called to be on TV. And so we got her on a local TV affiliate. And I remember my team was like, really? Like, she doesn't even have a website. Are you sure we can do this? And so it's like those people that are seeing this at this exact moment and something's calling them to say yes, it's definitely for that person. And it's even cool to hear some of the stories of people that have already said yes. And one of them told me just today that she wrote down, she had like gotten Oprah's book like 2 weeks ago, wrote it down like a week ago, and then came across this and was like, oh my goodness, I just wrote this down. Like, you know, we had someone else who said that they have been telling their best friend forever that they're going to be on Oprah one day. And so it's for the people that really are feeling called and really are looking at 2019 as a year that they get to really be like the biggest, best version of themselves. And so it's one of those things where you and I both know, because, you know, we both coach at a high level. It's like part of the work is really getting yourself in position, like in the right position. Yeah. And I know, you know, Julie, because I know you're going to be joining us, and I know that people are going to look at these results that we create this next year and be like, oh my God, she was so lucky.
Right.
And it's really, it's like, we're going to be like, oh my goodness, I just got a call from the, you know, and so people are going to look and say that we were so lucky, but it's not even just the luck. It's like the preparation meets opportunity. And that's really what we're co-creating in this club is, how do you prepare? How do you show up fully, whether she's looking or not looking? And then coupled with the opportunities, and that's where like my team comes in with, okay, what are the producers' contacts and which one might be the best fit for your, you know, for you to even connect with? And then what are opportunities that are coming across our channels to be able to put you in the position? And that's really like where the luck is going to be created.
I love what you just said. It kind of reminds me about like when you hear someone talk about seeing a person and they're like, wow, they were like an overnight success. Where did they come from? And it's like the overnight success with 15 years behind them.
Yeah.
Like, doing all that behind the scenes.
Yes.
And I love what you said about like preparation meets opportunity and like positioning yourself in a way where that, you know, it was one of the things I was saying to my attendees at the retreat at Dharma Live. I said, making money is easy, because we were talking about money manifestation, and making money is easy. It really is. And it's sort of like that positioning thing, like you're saying, when you position yourself, the two things I was saying were you need to be committed and you need to feel worthy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's not 99.9% committed. It's 100% committed.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's not, I wish I could have that, but I don't know if I'm qualified. Like, you need to get rid of all that conversation.
Yes. Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure.
I really believe, and I don't know if you subscribe to this theory, but I and it might be because I used to be a TV reporter, but I am not good at asking for permission. I'd rather go do it and then ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. And I really think that entrepreneurs that are watching this today, that is one of the number one things that I wish for them. A is not asking for permission. B is not hiding. But the first being not asking for permission, it's like there's some people that are probably watching this right now and what you just talked about, like feeling worthy. Like maybe you're feeling like, who me? Like, I just don't even have a website, or who me? I'm changing my message 15 times. But it's like, why not you? You know,
right.
Not having to wait for permission for someone to say, or for Oprah to come looking for you. Like, she's, you know, getting up in the year, like the lines are long, you know? So don't wait 10 years to when you feel like you're finally good enough to go after something like that. Like, go do it now. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's like, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when?
Exactly. I'm right there with you. Do we tweet on this? I feel like we're having an Oprah show. That's a tweet.
Totally.
You know, she does it on the life class. She's like, tweet.
Yeah, she like looks at the camera like, yeah.
You guys that are watching, make sure you post that line in there. If not who, then yeah. If not you, then who?
If not now, then when?
Yes.
That's it. I think about that all the time, you know, like every time I do a live event, it stretches me, and I make it so that it stretches me. You know, I mean, honestly, it would be easy for me at this point to just make 6 figures a year for the rest of my life. Like, I could do that. I have a system. I could do that. But that's not what I'm about. I'm about stretching myself and seeing what I'm made of every single day and every time, and impacting more and more people. I was telling my clients on our group call today that I was resting after the event on Monday at the spa, and all I could think about was this one piece I wanted to make sure they really got. Like, I really want to make sure they get this, and what do I need to be, and what do I need to say, and how can I reinvent myself so that this message really lands?
I love that.
And
it's a blessing to be doing this kind of work. I mean, and you know, it's just incredible.
Yeah. And I'm saying this because I know I'm not, it's like, I know I'm not the only one out there who feels this way. I know it. And I know that if you're watching this Facebook Live right now, you may be able to relate with this. And you may also, there was a client at my retreat who does health coaching in the Midwest. And her story was that in the Midwest, people just aren't as open or ready, and I think she's on right now live. And my coaching to her was like, yeah, you get to pave the way here in the Midwest, not here, but there in the Midwest, for the health revolution, for that movement. And it's not like it's going to be easy, but when it's your Dharma and you're that obsessed with, it's not like we choose it. Like, God just plants that desire in our heart. Yeah. And so if you're someone that has that call, you here's an opportunity for you to be on a platform where you can actually reach more people. And one-to-one really only gets you so far, one-to-one, it's comfortable and it really only gets you so far. And you may feel called to do the one-to-many. One-to-many in terms of like broadcasting your message on TV, on a network, not where thousands are watching, but where millions upon millions upon millions are watching.
Yeah, it's incredible because I think that when you look at who's being interviewed in Super Soul Sunday and who's the people that actually get television attention, each of them really are pioneers in their own right. And I know that you and I, we just talked about, like, we look at them and say, oh, wow, they're lucky, but they've had to walk through many of the moments that those of you that are watching are walking through now, and that you're going to have to walk through even to say yes to the Oprah Accelerator Club. Like, it's the thoughts of, am I worthy? Am I ready? I mean, these are all conversations that even me, like, I've had with myself. When I first even started growing my company, I joke about this, Julie, because actually I think you might not remember me then, but when I first started, I was like, I'm just going to be a life coach. Like, forget PR. Like, I was doing PR full time, working in fire and rescue, like, day in and day out. And I'm like, I am so done with this. I'm a new mom. Like, I'm just going to be a life coach. And I remember people would still come and hit me up, like, in Messenger and at masterminds. Like, I know you're a life coach, but I got a book coming out. Can you help me promote it? And I was giving it away for free because I didn't see a path. I didn't see a path by which I could really do what I was great at and also live my Dharma, like my calling, like what was calling me to, like, higher levels. Yeah. And so what really got me to focus in and take, like, that bold step, and really I did it in the midst of, I'm not ready. I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm not worthy. And really what happened was that someone said, like, what if you do it in a way that honors you? And, like, it wasn't like the skies parted right away. At first I was like, oh no, like, no way. But I felt like there was really no better idea. And so I went along with the coaching. And really what happened was that step by step, I started to open up to what was possible. And I also started to see how everything in my life was calling me to that moment. There were, like, I was on television for the first time ever at the age of 6 on national TV. Wow. And I've told that story so many times. I lost my sister in a house fire and she died. I lived, and, I've told that story, but I've told it, I used to only up to that point tell it from the fact that I'm a fire survivor. It wasn't until I made a decision to really, like, honor my calling that I'm like, man, like, even at the age of 6, God was giving me, like, this pathway to serve people in this way. And so I've had so many more moments like that, but so many moments where even as I started to operate within my calling, I had the conversation of, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to do it well? I had done it for an agency, gotten them featured, and I had been a journalist myself. I'd been on air as a TV reporter, but I remember when I first started helping entrepreneurs 3.5 years ago, I was like, am I going to be good enough? Like, are they going to even pay me any attention? There's a million other people out there that are doing what I do, and can I charge these like, all of those conversations that I think really anyone has when they're going to the next level, or when they're creating, and then sometimes we say the next cut, or the next, I like to say the next evolution of who you are. Those conversations come up. And so if you're looking at this opportunity to be in the Oprah Accelerator Club and you're like, I don't, like, if any of those conversations are happening, just know that that's normal. And really, it's like, just by taking that first step, that's the thing that will really support you. And it's almost like it alters the trajectory of your life. I think about if I hadn't have listened to the coaching back then, like, I would probably be out of business, because there was something that was not, even though I knew I didn't want to be a light, there was something that was not aligned. And ever since I actually stepped into what I sometimes say is like my divine calling, because that's really what I feel like it is, even with how the Oprah Accelerator Club came about, it wasn't like I was looking to create it, like it wasn't like I was like at the drawing board working hard, like, oh my God, let me create this. It really came from how can I give people like something that can really propel them in the direction of Oprah now, today, not 10 months from now? And
Wow.
how can I really do it in a way that honors like the vision of what it really happened in such synchronicity that I know that it only came through like a place of deep ground. And so, yeah, I mean, I could go on, but I think that that's one of the biggest things is that when you're really operating in a place where you're living in your calling, even in the face of some of the limiting conversations you might have, and it's nothing like getting on Oprah's radar that will bring up those limiting conversations. Like Julie, have you ever had it where like you put something out there and all of a sudden someone wants to pay you something you've never gotten paid before, or you're going to speak on a stage that's the biggest stage you've ever spoken on before? It's like that's when the limiting conversations come back in the face of you about to do something incredible or great.
Oh my gosh. I remember my very first speaking gig ever. It was back in St. Louis, and it was to a sorority. They invited me to speak at their chapter meeting. So there's 60 women. And I remember for the week leading up to it, I have a specific moment where I remember laying on my leather couch in my living room, and like there was sun on me, and it was a beautiful moment if you were to look at it from the outside, but on the inside, it was like hell. And I was so grumpy. And all I could do in that moment was I was trying to prepare this talk, and I was in the biggest victim conversation you've ever heard in your life. And I was like having victim-y, blamey thoughts towards my dad. I was having victim-y, blamey thoughts towards the guy that had just broken up with me, towards my supervisor who I owed my thesis to back at grad school. All these different people who I felt like were just like all up in my grill, bringing down my vibe, and I couldn't, and I'm like, I can't focus on this. And I was like in such a victim blame conversation. And then it clicked, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm the common denominator in all those scenarios. And I was like, wait, oh my God, maybe this is the way that my energy resists something big.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how I actually resist opportunity. And so I went and I spoke, and it was epic. And that's where some of my first clients came from. And then I had another opportunity, and it came in the form of a webinar. And it was my very first webinar, not too long after that. And same thing, same feeling. So it's different for different people. I think for me, I experienced that resistance as blame. And I go into this like blame game energy. And then I was like, oh, here it is again. And I think the mastery is how quickly you can catch yourself in whatever the conversation is for you. Yeah. And even with this live event, I had moments last week where, fortunately, I've done this enough times now where I have the awareness, but that doesn't mean the feeling goes away. Yeah. I still have my snappy moments. It's like, okay, this is my resistance. I'm committed to getting through this. And that's the commitment thing, 100% commitment, getting through it. And then the aha moment is like, oh my gosh, I lived.
You're like, oh my goodness, this was amazing. And so, yeah, I love that. And, I think that, so what I love about the fact that you're going to be one of our guest presenters is that, like, you're really clean energy around intention and around manifestation. And, if I were to fast forward like 10 years back, that was where it really all began for me, was reading books about think it and you could believe it and all of that. And I remember that was when I first like cut out like the NBC logo and the CNN logo. This was before I became a reporter. And I was like, let me just like give this thing a try. It was like my very first vision board. And that was like what first put me on the path to see it come to fruition like a year later. And it's like a mixture of the intention with the community, with the strategy that we're really creating in this container. Is like, how can you be really clean on the intention, really powerful on it? How can you align with a community of people that are also like hyper focused on it? and how can you take very strategic steps, like very fun, light steps. This is not write a dissertation, kind of thing. It's like, what's fun and light that we can create to be able to hold space. And I really think that, everyone who is a part of it will have some magical Oprah moments. Like we started talking about it today. We're like, Oprah, that's an Oprah moment. Like it might be that they call. It might also be that you have something else amazing happen just because of the points of intersection that you're creating.
That's right. I want to see if anyone who's tuning in has any questions, and we can actually take some live questions. So let's just look at some of these comments.
Oh, Kathy Vincent is giving us love. Hey, Kathy, if she's still
there. Oh my gosh, Kathy, we love you. We love you. We love you. Corey's saying manifestation. Amen. Rosemary is saying, hi, girls. So good to see and hear you speaking of changing the world, a better place. I can relate. Awesome.
Love it. Love it.
This is a daily struggle. Worthiness. Yes.
Yes.
Those are my usual conversations.
It's so funny, Julie. I'm looking at the feed and I'm actually looking by accident on your timeline. I was like, how did all these people get on my timeline? But it's your timeline, not mine.
Yeah, so if you have a question for Jackie on this topic, please post it and we'd love to answer it for you. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, Jackie, is what are the typical questions?
Yeah, I think one of the first questions that we tend to get all the time is, how do I actually get on like Oprah's radar or really any TV person's radar? Because we have we have a little girl that's in the program who's 11, and she's like, I really want to get on Ellen. And so it's like, how do you do that? And so really for us, it's a matter of like first doing reconnaissance. And we have like a database of 300,000 media contacts. That's like every local, state, regional newspaper, magazines, like all of that. And so for us, it's a matter of pulling up the profile of the producer and really seeing like what are the connection points, and starting from a place of service, like reaching out to them, not with like, hey, I really want to be on Oprah. I'm in the Oprah Accelerator Club. Please put me on. Like, that's not what you do. Typically, it's like, hey, I saw that you and I went to the same college, or I saw that you just did this incredible piece. I love this part of it. But it's like finding a point of intersection, like a connection point, where you can authentically start to create the relationship. And so that's often step one, or like the first part of it. The other part of it really is about like, what are the possibilities that exist? So if I were to ask you right now, like, how would you get on Oprah? And even the people that are watching, chances are you probably could not say distinctly. You might say, I just know I want to be there.
Yeah.
What I find is that when you start to really look at the possibilities, what that means is like, maybe you go get the O magazine and you actually read it. And you see, okay, wow, they spotlighted an entrepreneur there, or they did an editor's pick. Like, that's a possibility of how you might get them to feature you. And so now you have a connection point, you have a possibility, and then it's like, okay, how do I take action? And action might be like, okay, like let's send this angle, or let's, share this, or Oprah's going to start doing this new initiative. And that's exactly what your work is focused on. So talk about that. And so that's really like how we do it day in and day out, when we're even getting clients featured in booked places. And really for those people that are stepping into this, it's like also tuning into the network of people that are in this container. Because even if one person gets an O magazine, let's say by spring, that is an even better possibility than when we started, because now they have a direct line, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, and often I'll say, a lot of our clients get asked back, like they'll get featured. One of our clients, Krista, like, we got her on the CW in San Diego. We got her on the Hallmark Channel, and she's been a few other places. And every time she's done an interview, she's been asked to come back. And so part of that is like, okay, now we know we have a good contact there, and we can also send other people that are doing cool things in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. It's helpful to know like the system and the behind the scenes of like the strategic side of things. That's really interesting. And it makes sense. It sounds, I mean, you make it sound easy because obviously,
Yeah, I'm in my zone of genius for sure. And I think that
yeah.
that's one of the cool things is just, you know, and I that's why I'm excited about having you featured. And we have like two other powerful guest presenters. But I really wanted to create this program from a level of mastery. You know, often like when I even have programs myself, like we have people that sometimes come in and do guest presenting and things like that. And all of them are like experts in their own right. But I really wanted to bring like the best of the best together. And, you know, we were all on that call and it like just, that was another thing that just worked out beautifully. I was like, this is perfect. Like, you know, Julie's queen of manifestation, Karina's queen at energy activation, and Janine is like the special entity around like body work and prayer and things like that. And so I really wanted to bring together people that are truly like operating at a mastery level with their crafts and with their callings, because that just makes the container that much more powerful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, and I see that as like the four corners of a container, like
Yes.
space.
Love it. So yeah, so I'm really excited about it. I'm excited that, you know, we got to really touch on it. And, you know, for those of you that are watching, for you guys to join us, it's going to be so much fun. And I think it'd be great for you to share it. So I'm very clear that we have, you know, space for 32 people, because that's how many years the Oprah show was on. And so
Wow.
my team was like, what numbers are we going for? And I was like, let's go for 32. And so we've already started to fill a third of those spots. And I really think that, you know, for those of you that it's like you're either seeing this, for those of you that are tuning in live, like, you know, yes, feel free to message me and ask me questions, connect with Julie and make comments here and we'll check it. But also just share this, because I do believe that 2019 is one of those special years where it's like we have an opportunity to come out of hiding as entrepreneurs and really counterbalance some of the negativity that's in the world and really shine our lights. You know, one of the number one things that I've learned recently, just even from my experience from surviving a fire, is the whole conversation of not like, don't die hiding, and making sure that you do operate in a place where, as if this week or this day was your last day, who would you want to hear your message? Would you have even reached out and connected with people that have the right platforms? And how would you really shine in a way that does service to the legacy that you're creating? And so, you know, that's what I would say my wish really is for everyone that's watching, is that you really do come out of hiding and make sure that you're giving of your gifts and your talents. And that's part of what we're creating in the Oprah Accelerator Club. You know, some people are going to join it, Julie, and they're going to get an O magazine. Other people are going to be like, this just kept me from hiding all year and like made me like show up fully, consistently. And that's going to be maybe the best Oprah moment for them of the whole experience.
Wow. Everything you just said. Wow. On that note, my screen is blurry. Is it blurry for you too?
Yeah, you look a little blurry. I don't know if I'm blurry for you though.
No, yours is good. Well, I think that's just God saying, this is the moment, this is the time. I can't even follow that up with anything. So I'm going to post the link in the comment thread for you to explore, those of you that are watching, the Oprah Accelerator Club. So I'll be posting the link, and then Jackie, what can they expect to find there and experience once they click the link?
Yeah, so we basically have a page that has all of the details and the different framework. And, you know, what I would invite everyone to do is really go through that and just really see if you feel called. You know, we've made it really accessible to everyone. We wanted to make this a no-brainer opportunity for people. And so you can basically go there, you can get registered, you'll immediately get the welcome, and you'll get a really cool orientation, like, you know, yumminess that you can dive into. And then we get started right at the end of the year. So we're going to be closing out, or I'd say starting the program as the year closes out, and just really starting with your guest session on intention and how to set the intention for the year.
Beautiful. All right. So as soon as I was just trying to open Facebook in another browser and it was causing problems. So I'm going to wait till we finish and then I'm going to post the link and in the chat box. But those of you who have questions, please reach out to Jackie directly and she can support you. And Jackie, I just want to say thank you for being here and for your uplifting, inspiring message. I think the word here is possibility. Mm-hmm. Like let the possibility like run the show right now in your life. Wow. Gosh, the dreams, you know, it's available to you. It's here for you. Don't sell yourself short. And Jackie, thank you for speaking into that with us today.
Yeah, it's been such a joy. I'm like, now I've been on Dharma Talk Live. So. All right. So yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me though, Julie.
Yes, my pleasure. And all of you, thank you for joining. And I will see you next week on Dharma Talk Tuesday. Bye.